All right, so I'd like to talk a little bit about this diner. And I want to talk about this diner because I forget why I wanted to talk about it. But last week I really because I wanted to read some reviews. I was into reading reviews. What I did was I tried to look up the restaurant. We've told the story before, but I'd like to tell the story again. Last year, we were riding, me, Aaron Weber, and Hannah were riding back from North Carolina, and we were coming back to Tennessee. And we're on the road, and we wanted to stop, and we wanted to just kind of get some food with a local flair. We didn't want to go, just classic chain restaurant where we know what we're going to get, but is, precisely that. We know what we're going to get, and we wanted some variety. So we found this one restaurant, and it has so many reviews, and so many of the reviews were really good. So we thought, well, this is the place for us. So we find the place, and we're about to pull up in there. It's a roadside diner, and it seemed like real cool, and they had like 4,000 reviews, and they're all good. It's like, oh, this is the greatest place in the world. We love it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And we were like, oh, great. This is our spot. And then right as we are about to pull in, Hannah finds this review, and this review says, after seeing all this, and I'm just going to read it how they wrote it. It's not I can't, After seeing all this great reviews, I decided to stop by on my way to Florida. I was so excited about this place, wanted to try something unique and typical American, but I was so disappointed. Don't get me wrong, it's a diner, and I know that, but food was nothing special, neither wow. Prices are good and service, but the horrible smell of this place made me eat in 2 seconds and get out of there ASAP. Once I entered this diner, bad smell hit me in the head in a second. Smells like they never cleaned nor opened the door for fresh air, and all flies around your head, and food tells you everything. Go to McDonald's or any fast food place on the highway will be better and cleaner than here.
Whew. But maybe they got there on a bad day. That's what we're thinking.
And then here I've got 3 reviews on the same, like they're all together. And one was from 2 years ago. It says, filthy, never going back. My water glass was filthy and so many flies. And then a year ago, so a year later, it stinks and it has food everywhere. And then 4 months ago, smelled bad.
They're just getting it more and more pared down to the ultimate disgusting.
So at the very least, for a year and 8 months, this place has smelled bad and been disgusting. Okay, so once we saw that, we thought, oh no, this place is not going to be good. But we were like, there's so many good reviews. It's got to be great. So we walk in, we pull up. It looks cool. It looks like a 50s style diner. It's, like what Happy Days or American Graffiti. That's it. It reminds you of that. You think of that and we're like, oh, this is cool. And then it's summertime, so it's hot. But we open that door and gosh, it was like hot and muggy, and the smell hit us hard. So we go.
We sit down.
So we go and we get a table, and then I go to the restroom. I've been on the road. I'm like, I gotta go pee. So I walk, and we're on one side of the restaurant. The restroom is on the other side. So I have to go all the way through the restaurant, and I'm seeing that tables are full. I mean, there are people at every table. I mean, people are eating. There's young people. There's old people. It's a variety. Multiple races of people are in there. It's a variety. This is a hot spot in this town. And the bathroom was disgusting. And then I decide while I'm in the bathroom, I'm like, we're not eating here. I was like, we're about to get out of here. And I expect when I get back to the table that Hannah and Aaron will have also thought along those lines and will have just waters in front of them if they've even gotten service at all. So I show up to the table because when I say waters, I mean things that we don't have to pay for and we can just get out of there. So I get to the table. Aaron's got like a Coke and Hannah has a coffee. I'm like, and I'm like, I want to get out of here. And they're like, and then the waitress shows up. So the waitress shows up and she couldn't have been nicer. She was just such a friendly lady, but she was a bit overweight. She was very sweaty. There were flies all over this place, and she was so sweaty, like sweaty to the point where like her hair was wet. You know what I mean? Like her hair around, like any kind of bangs are just soaked like you've been on a run. And she was just like telling us it was a Sunday.
She was out of breath.
Yeah, she was out of breath. She was telling us the food that she really liked that was on the menu. And she was like, oh, I get that every Sunday. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking, well, it's Sunday right now, so you must just get it when you're at work. But what was so confusing was it seemed so disgusting, but the place was full. And I'm like, am I the only person seeing this? So we decide to leave, all right? So we have to pay for the coffee and the Coke, and Hannah and Aaron just dashed right out of there. I mean, they're out of there.
Right, because as I recall now, I was sort of embarrassed because we had gone ahead and we'd ordered this is the Canadian in me where I'm like, well, I don't want to be rude and just leave this disgusting place.
Well, that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people, even reading the reviews, people will be like, yeah, I was disgusted by the place. I ate in 2 seconds. It's like, if it's so disgusting, just get out of there. I mean, yeah. I don't mind leaving a place. I mean, I'm not even that picky, but if it's just gross, like I've worked at enough restaurants to know that if the front of the house is disgusting, what's the back of the house looking like? So I was like, it just seemed like they were just cooking in there, and there was no fresh air. There was no ventilation. Like, it was a small enough place. It was almost like a Waffle House on the inside where you could see the cooking, but it just was so hot. And all right, so we were like, let's get out of here. So they get out of there. I pay. We tip well because, we feel bad. So we go ahead and pay for the drinks and we tip well. And then we get out to the car, and then Hannah goes, I don't have the keys. Do you have the keys? And I was like, no, I don't have the keys. She was like, I don't have the keys. And I go, oh, man, I got to go back in there. Maybe that's what it was, right? We didn't talk to her. We just left money. We left enough money to where it was a good tip, but we didn't talk to her. But now I'm like, oh, the keys are in there. I got to go get the keys. So I go back in to get the keys, and then the lady is like, oh, you guys are taking off? And we're like, yeah, we got to, and I'm like, yeah, we just got to get on the road. We didn't have as much time as we thought. And then Hannah texts me, oh, I got the keys. And so.
Because, of course, I had the keys.
Yeah, so I go back out, we get in the car, and we leave. And that was the restaurant. But the restaurant has a 4.2 rating out of 5 stars on Google, and they have 1,363 reviews.
Wow.
So they have really good reviews, but then they have stuff like this: too many flies. Any fly is too many flies in a restaurant, but too many flies. Server didn't come back to table. Saw cook put hair up and didn't wash hands. Server dropped cloth that he was washing the table with and picked it up and went right back to wiping table off. I mean, can you just see this lazy guy, though, wiping the table, and then he's so slow and so that he drops the towel on the floor and then picks it up and keeps wiping the table? Let's see. This was a year ago. So saddened how bad this place has become. That's just enough. It's such a long review.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's been a real fall from glory. Perhaps it was better, 10 years ago.
First time coming here, and it smelled like a retirement home. I have never smelled something so bad. It was absolutely disgusting. We didn't even drink our drinks. We left. That was us. It wasn't us, but that could have been us.
That wasn't us?
No, that's not our review. No,
wow.
We didn't leave a review. We're not going to.
Oh, I thought we did.
I don't think so. We're just going to trash the place in on a podcast. Beware. Observed a server washing the floor with the same rag she washed the table and kept using it to wash tables. She also refilled the napkin holder after picking up trash from the floor, never washing her hands. Big boo. This place was so beyond gross. It was hot and there were flies everywhere. Gave the waitress a good tip and she was very friendly. The food was awful.